The topic 5 Rules for Texting with a Man is quite interesting for any woman who wants her correspondence to turn from just a prolonged process of exchanging messages into real meetings, courtship, relationships, and perhaps even creating a family and having children. Although in order, first create a family and then have children. If you watch the video till the end, you'll discover the 5th rule, which literally blows any man's mind. Regardless of who he is, from a plumber to a deputy, the most decent and successful man, many girls don't use it at all. They don't even realize that this kind of interaction with a man can actually improve relationships, making him want to reach out on his own. He will constantly strive, come on, let's write, meet up, I'll court you, buy flowers. So, pay attention. So the first rule, correspondence should be specific. What is specific correspondence? It's when you're discussing a particular topic with a man where you can draw conclusions and make decisions. Express your point of view. Listen to the man. That is, there's a beginning to the discussion and a logical conclusion. Very often, girls make mistakes. I'll give an example. A girl comes to me and says, all my chats with men drag on and we never move to real meetings. Let's look at her chats. She takes out her phone and shows communication that's completely about nothing. In the world of women, this is normal. You write to your friend, oh, I was at the store today and bought myself bath bubbles. And she replies, imagine I ordered tea today, but they sold me cocoa instead. And thus, you jump from topic to topic. For women's psyche and your thinking, this is natural. But when you involve a man in your emotional world through correspondence, he's not against it. But if he gets used to it, he will never invite you to a meeting, restaurant, or cinema. Why? Because he doesn't feel any need or desire from you to move forward. If you write to a man, or he writes to you first, it doesn't matter who started. Try to steer the conversation towards something specific. For example, propose, let's meet up. Let's spend the evening together. Let's go to the cinema. There's nothing wrong when a woman directly expresses her wishes to a man. You know, in different lectures and webinars, I often discuss this issue with girls, how to subtly hint to a man about where you'd like to go. Suppose you'd like to visit a restaurant that makes delicious rolls, pizza, or have a steak. There's no need to concoct elaborate stories. Of course, don't say directly, take me to the steakhouse. Instead, you might say, you know, I've been dreaming for a week about trying raw, undercooked meat with blood. That's enough. Your messages should be specific. Avoid idle chatter. Often girls begin correspondence with a man, communicate a lot, and then suddenly disappear, or he disappears, and neither writes again. What was the purpose of the communication then? Why spend so much time typing? Specificity is important. If you want to meet with a man, talk about it. It's also important to understand for yourself. If despite specifics, the man keeps disappearing, then you're better off ending the correspondence. Put a period and send him to a blacklist. You've hinted once, twice, said directly, and if there's no reaction, then he's not your man. He's just a virtual character, some resurrected writer. Let him find his muse and convey his thoughts for years in texts. Rule 2. It's very important to consider personal boundaries in correspondence. Many women don't even think about it. For example, a man could write to you any time of day or night. There he goes sending a message at 2 a.m. At that moment, you're either asleep or getting ready for bed. Maybe you have evening rituals, personal procedures, meditation. The mistake is that you immediately grab the phone and start answering, No, I'm not asleep. You didn't disturb me, I just got out of the shower. You should have clear boundaries, especially if the relationship is in the early stages and you don't know each other well yet. A man should understand that you have your own personal space. These boundaries need to be discussed. You can directly tell a man, I'm available until 10 p.m. After that, I go to sleep as I have to get up early for training or work. So it's better to chat from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Choose a convenient time when you're free from duties and ready to communicate. Going back to the first rule, ask yourself, why do messages come in such late hours? Imagine a man writing at 3 a.m. What's he doing? Maybe he's drinking with friends and under the influence of alcohol starts spamming everyone around. You're probably not the only one he's written to. Or maybe he's just lying on the couch feeling sad, trying to see who will respond to his late night call for a meetup. Remember, personal boundaries can take various forms, and their presence is a sign of your self-respect and respect for your time. Third rule: you can write first. It doesn't really matter who wrote first. Often girls ask in messages, "Is it okay to write to a man I like? How do I do that?" Of course, if you find a man attractive, you have the opportunity to gather at least some information about him, especially in the age of social networks where everything is accessible. You can check his photos, interests, hobbies, social circle. Perhaps you can link your first message to his interests. Many girls think if he's handsome and brutal, he must be popular with women. Hordes of admirers write to him, "You're such a hottie," or "Oh, you're so cool." This is a crucial aspect. Your task is to address the man, not his narcissistic part. Feel the difference. When a woman initiates contact by addressing his narcissistic side, she may leave herself at a distance. The man may use her compliments as a tool to satisfy his ego, appreciating only what she says about his appearance and qualities. It's more of a feminine narrative, and such words can be said to a friend. "Your boots are classy," or "You have a great hairstyle." It doesn't work with men this way. Thus, when you decide to write first, it's important that the approach is tied to something specific, not just, "Hi, how are you?" It's essential to ask yourself, what next? Think about messages. Make them substantial to spark interest and set a favorable basis for communication. If you're writing first, I want to share with you a simple example. I have an acquaintance couple, a husband and wife. The husband is a professional chef. Various girls often write to him leaving admiring comments. "Wow, it's so cool when a man is in the kitchen," or "Oh my gosh, it's so sexy when a man cuts meat." These words target his narcissistic side and tickle the ego. But how did his wife act? She asked a practical question. She said, "Tell me, please, I tried to make salad according to your recipe, but accidentally bought turkey instead of chicken breast. It tasted different. Can turkey breast be used?" Thus, she addressed his expert side. Every man wants to feel like a hero, especially in front of a woman. The chef replied that both chicken and turkey breast could be used, and later offered his great recipe. Dialogue ensued. They began communicating, and then met up. They found a foundation for deeper conversations. Remember, writing first is okay. It's important to plan with what theme you enter a man's informational space. I even have a question for you. If any of you have written to a man first, how did you do it? How did you perceive his interests, and what message did you send to be sure of a response? Share your stories in the comments. Perhaps other girls will find them useful. Now, the fourth rule: no manipulations. There are categories of women who try the pull-push approach. You might have attended trainings or watched YouTube videos where they advise alternately approaching and disappearing in chats. This approach, where you actively communicate, then suddenly disappear, might not yield results. These pauses can confuse a man, leading to misunderstanding. It's important to build sincere, consistent communication without strategic fantasies and games. Reliable relationships are built on honesty and open dialogue. Suppose you correspond with a man who considers you as a potential partner among many others. In such cases, your manipulations, approaches, and distances might be completely useless. He has plenty of similar candidates, and he may view such games as insignificant. However, if you've interested a man, evoked sympathy and respect in him, such correspondence will be a call for him. If it's a self-respecting man, he values his time. His day is scheduled, he has meetings, commitments, and other tasks. When he notices manipulations in communication, they unsettle him. Facing a choice between you and his chores or career, he'll likely choose himself. As a result of your manipulations, you might end up without communication, discussing over a glass of wine with a friend how brilliant you were in correspondence. But remember, if you genuinely like a man and are interested in contacting him, manipulations won't help. Recently, a girl came to me. She used a texting technique she saw on YouTube. While following these rules gave her an appearance of control, she constantly felt anxious. Why? A woman with healthy self-esteem will never manipulate. Manipulations are characteristic of people with low self-esteem acting out of fear. If you want sustainable relationships, it's worth building them on honesty and openness. Sincerity matters more than any game or manipulation. Many women resorting to manipulation in relationships with men often fear he'll never write again. This leads to constant anxiety, destroying their internal state and nervous system, and worsening their relationship with the man. Those suggesting the use of manipulations in communication, emotional swings, mislead you. For instance, in the morning a woman might write, "Good morning, sunshine," but in the evening start ignoring messages. When the man asks, "What's wrong?" she responds, "I just had a bad mood." Let me tell you a story about a man's perception of such situations. Often, girls seek mature, adequate, and successful partners. Once I spoke with such a man. He told me that he started corresponding with a girl, and his state gradually worsened. His nervous system stopped functioning properly, he became irritable, slept poorly, and couldn't concentrate on work. I asked him what the reason was, and he showed me their chat. Initially, everything looked fine. Affectionate words, compliments. Then they arrange a time for communication, but she stops responding. The next day she apologizes, citing a bad mood. Such unpredictable behavior confused him, and he decided to stop communicating with her. He didn't want to constantly wonder whether the next message would carry warmth or something strange would happen again. Most importantly, don't get too carried away with it. Now, what to do if, for example, a girl likes someone, some worthy, interesting man with great and similar interests. Really great, but the correspondence isn't going smoothly. What to do in such a situation? Why isn't it working out? Perhaps he's busy. It happens. A proud man doesn't pay attention. Are there ways? Here's what you need to understand. Some men are basically not ready for a relationship, or are already in one, or they're always very busy. If a woman writes to a man first, it's important not to be intrusive. Everyone has their comfort level. I'll give an example. One girl told me she first sent a guy nice messages, added a bit of negativity, then sent him a topless photo and later almost fully nude picture. He received everything, it's visible he read them, but no reaction. Later she receives a message from him. He writes her something like, "Katya, please don't write on weekends. I'm a Sunday dad and spend much time with kids. I have 2. The fact is, all her messages were read by his children. One is 6, the other 8. They were on his phone watching cartoons while dad was cooking food. She sent, "How are you? Where did you disappear?" Kids opened his mobile and see the photos. When the older ran and reported, "Dad, some lady is showing you her chest," he was shocked. It's essential not to be intrusive and to be aware of many moments. Now, ladies, the most critical rule of communication with men in correspondence. What do you think it is? Maybe something in French? No, use voice messages. Let me explain why. We're talking about a successful and busy man with many goals. He might have textual documents in front of him, and text becomes a habitual state. Friends, mom, business partners write to him. Amidst this flow of information, he might not take you seriously, especially if the relationship is just beginning. But if you send him a message with a pleasant voice, it's a different message. The man listens to your voice, creating an association as if you gently reach for the phone. Such an approach evokes entirely different reactions in a man. I'll explain why. Voice tone and volume should differ from the regular noise that surrounds him. Don't scream into the phone, "Hi, how are you?" Aim to stand out among other sounds with a diminutive, sexy, gentle manner. Imagine this situation. He's sitting in the office, communicating with colleagues at one volume level, and hears a call from the wife using the same tone, "Hi, how's it going? What's new?" Which just echoed a business partner, no difference whatsoever. But if a woman says, for example, "Sunshine" or "My dear," or tenderly calls him by name, "How's your day going? It seems like you're working so much." Maybe it's worth relaxing and having a cup of coffee. The man would replay this message. He'll cherish it because it contains care and attention. A significant part of the impression is formed precisely from the delivery you use. If you merely send an emoji, yes, it's nice, but what's next? Emojis are a way to express emotions with minimal energy costs. You can write, "I really appreciate your attention," or simply send an emoji. Do you feel the difference? An emoji is one thing, while words create deeper feelings. When you send a man a message supplemented with a smiley face icon, imagine how drastically different the effect is compared to voicing, "Your message made me smile." Men enjoy witnessing a woman's emotional reaction to their stories. She's amused, she smiles, laughs. This allows a man to reveal possibly even a new and unfamiliar facet in the relationship. I'll give you an example. I had a man in therapy who communicated for years with an emotionally unavailable woman. He never heard confessions of love. Even when he begged her to admit it, she replied she didn't know how. Imagine this. She claimed she didn't know how to confess love. Ultimately, they parted. And do you know why he came to me? He became accustomed to such a state. Now, when he began a new relationship with a girl who expresses her feelings differently, gives him compliments, he experiences mixed feelings. Sometimes he's embarrassed. Sometimes there's a sense of guilt. He shares how he sits listening to her voice messages, in which she spends 3 minutes saying how amazing he is. He seemed to accept her words but felt awkward. However, you should remember one thing. Men love when women speak to them in a refined, sexual, gentle, and tender manner. Therefore, if choosing between text messaging and a voice message, better opt for the latter. Correspondence with a man is just one aspect. I hope this video was helpful for you. See you soon. Bye.